Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. I want to do a video on working in America, and some of you may have immigrated a wife and she's afraid to work, or it's just not a good time for her to work. Maybe you feel like she has to learn to drive first. I'm not sure of everybody's situations, but I can tell you that there's a great likelihood, almost guarantee, your wife is going to want to work. In fact, it's possible, even if you have a child together, that she may still want to work, and that's something that you really should talk about before she even gets here. I think international dating, it really needs to be focused on marriage and being serious about her, the relationship in the future. So we talked about those things, and I knew she wanted to work. So my wife's experience here in America, by the way, I always forget, I welcome new subscribers to this channel. It's a pro-marriage, pro-Filipina channel. I always thought highly of Filipinas. They make great wives. I know other people who have who have good marriages with Filipinas, and so I want to keep that flame burning because it's still true. You just have to be careful of who you're communicating with. So your Filipina will likely want to work in your country. My wife was a teacher for special needs children in the Philippines, right here in Davao City, where I'm doing this video from. And she was a hard worker, not a complainer, before she came to America, and that's the way she works now. She just transitioned her work attitude from the Philippines to here, in Nebraska, back home. So my wife started as a temporary worker, later got hired full-time, and that's something obviously that's worked out well for us, so I would suggest that to you. It may be the easiest way for her to get her foot in the door of a company where she can eventually be hired full-time. Now my wife has worked full-time for a while now, and then some. She sends money for home monthly. She helps us with a couple of bills, and she's been investing for her future. She's got a 401k now because she's permanent, puts in 5%, gets 5% match, and when she's eligible to get that out, even if it's 30, 35 years from now, it's going to keep growing because it is an investment. She's very happy with that, and we went to the financial advisor and they helped her pick out certain ones to invest in. I know she's happy to be investing in Facebook, a company or a mutual fund that invests in Facebook, and also the Philippines. So, she's happy about that. One time her mama thanked me profusely for allowing her to help them. She thanked me because, as my wife put it, I allowed her to work. So just a good time to say, I believe, my money is her money is my money. It's all pooled together. One of us might make more than the other, but that's just been our philosophy. I'm just more comfortable with that, and it's worked out well for us. And having your wife work can really help eliminate issues with money to help her family. And by the way, it is, I think, totally appropriate to help her family, because if you have a lot more to give, it's your wife, it's her family, you really kind of just shoot yourself in the foot by not wanting to help her family. And if you do help her family, it's going to pay off very well for you. When my wife was in the Philippines, she told me she wanted to work in America with me. That meant she wanted to work at the same company. Well, and I work at a large manufacturing company. I've worked there for long time, probably 37 and a half years. We have about 600 people there. I think everybody that's been there a long time knows me because I've been there a long time. But I didn't know how we were going to work at the same place. I just told her, okay, hon, I would pray, and if God's will, He can make a way for this to happen. I kind of liked the idea. I just didn't know how we could pick and choose. Then one day I ran into a guy I knew coming off of overtime. I told him I I got married, and he said, well, hey, talk to the boss and have her go to a temporary agency, and then I'll bet they hire her, because they need to keep the manufacturing plant going. So if they can hire someone, it's a friend, a relative, and comes, highly regarded, they think they're responsible, that saves them a lot of time in the process of finding a replacement, since her area sometimes can be like a revolving door. So she did that. And then I talked to this supervisor, and he encouraged me to have her do that, and so we did. And she got her Social Security number in January so she can work and pay taxes. So I don't think she's going to be able to work if she doesn't have Social Security number. At least she's not going to get paid, as far as I know. So on a long vacation with my wife after she arrived, we went to an agency, and she got an interview there. She did a language and math assessment as part of that. Excuse me. She signed up on a website. Did a drug test, that's going to be part of it. Watched a video on the particular department she'd be working in. Then we prayed for an opportunity. And since she couldn't drive at the time, the only opportunity or option was a packaging area near mine that started at 6 a.m., except I started at 7 in a different department. And I'm very grateful to my boss for, at that time, letting me move my schedule up an hour to start at 6 so I could drive her to work. And that worked great until they changed her hours from 8 hours a day to 12 hours a day, 7 days out of 14. My wife's young enough, she wants to make money, and she handles that really well and still works overtime. So she's making excellent money, and she's been very responsible with it. The way she started, she was given a 2 or 3 week opportunity. And not really so much a trial run, it's just that there was only a small project for this department to finish. So she was going to get 2 or 3 weeks. She was giddy about that. And I talked to her at length about the importance of making a good first impression. You only get one opportunity to make a first impression, and she certainly did. I told her jobs are not automatic here in America, and talked about the little things that you'll want to do with your wife to help her get off to a good start. I knew what they were looking for. I'd been there a long time. They want punctuality, to get to work on time, to get off of breaks on time. Certainly complaining, although it happens a lot, is not going to win you any favors, earn you any favors. Ask questions if you're not sure of something, and there will be. Just ask questions, being polite and friendly, and basically sticking your nose to the grindstone and working hard. So that has not been a problem whatsoever. In fact, her first job there, it was just a job of rework, peeling labels off of these little glass vials. Fortunately, my wife has very tiny fingers, so she was able to peel them off twice as fast as anybody else. And wouldn't you know it, this is a big project, and there was a team leader, supervisor, who was also assisting with that project. And then she noticed my wife was working very hard and just focusing on the job as simple as it was, and she was very impressed. And I think she started sharing that word with other people there. Hey, we got this temporary person, been in their country for just a few months, Filipina, and I think she might have potential. As one of the managers told me, we can teach people the job, but we cannot teach them work ethic. We cannot put certain things into them. So I think they saw right away she had the potential to really help them out. And this stupid cough I've had for 10 months does not get any better out here in the Philippines. So I apologize for that. I'm not even sure what we can do about that. So that went really well. My boss even introduced himself to her, because word had gotten around that they had this little woman here that was really good attitude, and she was doing well. My wife's attractive little Filipina, looks younger than her 29 years, and you might be concerned. Well, I was, because I worked there. And that may not be the case in your situation. You may not want it to be the case, but I accepted her wanting to work there. I sit with her at break when we can, with her people, and there's probably the usual stares that you get, curiosity, and but nobody's said anything bad. Nobody's laughed at us or shunned us or anything like that, because I think they realize, I married my wife to love her. I married her to take care of her and to protect her, to think about her long-term future, and they see that. So I think in people's eyes we're just another couple, despite 27-year age difference. So yeah, some people may talk about us, but they knew she was coming anyway, because I had her picture on all my screensavers, the computers at work. I have her pictures in my locker. So, I see her wherever I go, and of course I talk about her a lot too. So they realize I found a gem in the Philippines. Probably shocked that I got married because it happened so quickly, but they know I love her very much, and that's what it's all about. Having a job for your wife is going to be a great way for her to integrate herself into the country and to help with homesickness. My wife refers to the supervisors and everybody there as sir, yes sir, no sir. I had a manager tell me he can't remember last time anybody called him sir. She says Sir David or Sir, Tad or whoever. And that is unusual. And it is a sign of respect, which they do in the Philippines, and she has carried over here. So I know it was a good sign that she had a future there when they asked her to try on a uniform. They have certain color shirt and pants and their name on it. So one day she came in and she had 10 little uniforms with her name on it, and they got the smallest size they could get, and it's still too big. The pants are kind of too big, and she's 4'11", about 92, 93 pounds, and well, they got the best they could, and yes, it was a good sign. They did keep her on longer. Then came the opportunity for her to apply for a job she didn't get the first time. That kind of knocked down her confidence a lot, and she didn't want to apply again, didn't want to get hurt. Of course, I encouraged her. She's a good worker, went over all her positive traits and said, you can get this job, but you've got to keep trying. We've all been rejected trying to get jobs probably, and it hurts, but you just got to try again. And sure enough, it worked, and it didn't take very long at all this second time around. Different supervisor this time, maybe that mattered. I don't know. So, despite how much my wife likes to work, she told my mom she would quit her job and take care of her if my mom needed that. We live with my mother, or she lives with us. She's 85 years old, and so far so good. But what a wonderful gesture from my wife. Filipinos make the best wives, they say, and no argument here. And even with my wife's work schedule, 50, 60 hours, because she wants to save extra money for herself and to send back to the Philippines, as long as she can have it, as long as I sense she's not wearing down, as long as I believe she's not ignoring me, I'm okay with it, because I know her reasons for doing it. So my wife has embraced saving money. She even saves coins. She does not have to live one day at a time anymore, and she's not selfish with it. She helps her family. I encourage it. I probably never decline anything she's asked for. When she says, "Hon, can I spend money on this? Can we do this?" I know it's a need, and I allow her to do that, and that's good for her. It's good for her family. That's good for me. That's good for us. Since she works, she has to have somewhere to put the money. She has her own checking account. We have a joint checking account. Her 401k. She has a credit card, and she got one with cash back, so we could save money that way. She even got a grocery store gasoline card that gives you some money off of gas once in a while. She wants to find every way possible to be good with the money that she has earned. And there have been no problems with her earning money, using it behind my back. I'm the one that handles the money. I offered her that responsibility, showed her how, but she's not interested in it. She just likes to work. I treat my wife like an adult, like a mature young woman, and I've done that from the start, and I think she has responded well with the opportunity to make her own money, and yet it's still our money, but I don't tell her that she can't do certain things with it. I haven't had any horror stories with my finances, and I have heard of that. So I didn't envision marrying somebody that would be a help to me financially at all. She does help a little bit. I'm very proud of her. She's helped me physically and emotionally. And my wife tells me when I am out of line, my behavior needs to get better. So she makes me a better man. And naturally, we all want a beautiful Filipina, and she can also provide financially if she wants to work and you allow her to. I certainly found a hard-working woman in my love beyond the sea.